And on that happy note, you guys, I bet Byron's super stoked for me to introduce him. Bless you. Bless you. We've actually made it to our last speaker of the night, ladies and gentlemen. And, yeah, we can cheer it, sure. Woo-hoo! However, wait. We are going to have a special little presentation after Byron, where some improvisers will be coming up and doing something. So stick around after Byron. It's super fun, I promise. As far as Byron's concerned, he didn't really directly answer my questions, so I took his facts and turned them into answers to my questions. He didn't know that. He grew up in Spain and lived in Japan for a year before moving to the United States. So clearly his boat name is Out and a Boat. What? Thank you. I came up with that sober, you guys. He loves Star Wars and actually has a half-sleeve tattoo of Star Wars stuff. Clearly this means his mascot is an Ewok. And, yeah, I mean, duh. And, or any of the other ones that I have not seen post-2008. Jar Jar Binks? Is that? Okay, ew, we don't like him. Him? All right. And lastly, he loves wine and can actually open wine bottles with his shoe. Which is pretty amazing. I don't know how, but I want to learn. Probably not in these sandals, though. And in being true to form, he actually just showed me his last text, and that's why I have my phone up here, and I'm going to read it to you. Okay, his last text was, "I was wrong. Still have to wait a while. Guess I'll just get drunk backstage." A big round of applause for Byron, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi everyone, my name is BYRON STANFORD. I'm a graphic designer and art director who recently relocated to Denver from New York and opened up my own shop with my girlfriend and partner. As a graphic designer for the last 8 years, I've been in presentation design, which means I've seen some of the dirtiest presentations out there. Do you ever look at your presentations and you think to yourself that they're not as good as like the ones that you see people here give them? Or you try to dedicate time to making a slide look really nice, but it comes out looking just like dull? Well, you might suck at PowerPoint. Don't worry, it's not your fault entirely. What's the first thing that you do when you have to make a presentation? You open up PowerPoint, right? And what do you see? This. Click to add title and click to add text. So what do? We click to add title and click to add text. It's right there. It says it. It's easy, right? Wrong. When you do this and just start opening PowerPoint and typing in all your information, all you get is the typical slide you've seen every day. Way too much information, all the bullet points on there, and just some clip art in the corner to cover up the white space, because nobody likes white space, right? Next time you have to make a presentation, instead of opening up PowerPoint, start with pen and paper. That's how we learned down to put our ideas since the time we were in school. Put down your 3 main ideas that you want your audience to remember after your presentation, and build your content around those 3 things. So many times when we're making a presentation, we don't realize it's more about getting rid of the stuff we don't need than it is about trying to put in extra fluff to make sure that it looks like we did all the work, right? So now that I left you off the hook a little bit, let's talk about the real issue, why you actually suck at PowerPoint. For the rest of the presentation, I'm going to give you 3 things that you can do from now on in all your presentations to make sure that you suck a little bit less. And every time you do it, I promise you will get better. Point number 1, the most important, keep it simple. As I said, try to keep it down to 3 main ideas. Your audience will not remember more than that. Did you notice how everybody here today had 3 things to tell you? Exactly. Don't put too much information on your slide. If you use your slide as a teleprompter, and people can't read your slides and listen to what you're saying at the same time. Attention span is super limited, especially in the cell phone era. And when you have all this information, people will tune out. Show of hands, who realized that I was talking about a zebra in there? Not even half the people. That's what happens. Use the post-it note trick. Each post-it note will be equal to 1 slide. Write 1 idea per slide with a Sharpie pen. If it doesn't fit on a post-it note, it won't fit on a slide. Point number 2, design. I can't tell you how helpful it is for your audience if your whole presentation is tied through design throughout the whole thing. Anybody who's worked in an office knows what a Frankenstein deck looks like. It's when people take a bunch of different images from online and past presentations they've done, put it all together, and it looks awful. Exactly. Those presentations inherently are difficult to follow because it's all over the place. Try and make it easier for people. Try and make sure that all your charts and graphs look the same throughout the presentation. It'll make it so that people can actually follow what you're saying. This is super easy nowadays with the new PowerPoint. I can't even tell you how PowerPoint can just style things for you like that. Should actually be out of a job, but who knows. Use high resolution images when you are using images in your presentation. There's a huge difference between how things will look on your laptop and how they will look on screen. High res is super important. That means don't use Google search. There's a ton of free websites out there and paid websites that you can use to get great photography. I use Unsplash as an example. They'll let you use photography from all over the world as long as you give credit to the author. And point number 3, rehearse your presentation. To those of you who have worked at an ad agency, 2 a.m. the night before does not count. Rehearse your presentation a few times like you would actually give it. You're not at your desk, not sitting down, doing it in your head. Actually stand up, practice like you're holding the microphone or like you have a stand, and do it like you would do it with your slides behind you. That is the only way to actually get prepared and get ready for your presentation. So remember these 3 easy things. 1, keep it simple. People will not remember more than 3 simple things. 2, keep the design of your presentation unified throughout. And 3, rehearse your presentation over and over. Just as an example, I will tell you, I have terrible social anxiety. It's really bad. I'm an awkward person. I wouldn't be able to be up here today and give this presentation like I just did if I hadn't practiced this over and over. So there you have it. Those are the 3 easy steps. Do it in your next presentation. I guarantee you will not suck.
We had to put Byron last because otherwise you guys would have been judging everybody else's presentations. And I will let you know, I took so much advice from his presentation beforehand, which is why my slides were the cleanest that they have ever been. No joke. Yeah, for real. So now what we're going to do is called a